afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Alex Flood. Members of the Greenstone OPP are investigating a fatal collision that took place last night on Highway 11, 30 kilometers west of Geraldton, shortly before 10 o'clock.
That's an engine block sitting in the middle of the highway.
This dramatic footage was taken just moments after the crash. The collision involved a transport trailer unit and a dump truck. One of the drivers, 46-year-old Edward Bolt of Nebeen, was pronounced dead at the scene. The other driver escaped with minor injuries. Highway 11 between Geraldton and Jellicoe reopened to traffic at 2:45 this afternoon. Any witnesses to the accident are urged to contact the OPP. Ontario is reporting 3,301 new cases of COVID-19 today. Cases linked to Omicron are now doubling every 2 days across the province, and calls for swift action are growing exponentially. Thunder Bay Superior North MPP Michael Gravel shared his thoughts on the ongoing situation locally and across Ontario.
Well, there's no question that it's a huge concern.
The province's COVID-19 Science Advisory Table has called for immediate circuit breaker restrictions to reduce social contacts by up to 50%. Without them, it is feared the province could reach between 6,000 to 10,000 cases a day by the end of December. The Ontario government announced new restrictions Friday, which includes 50% capacity limits in most indoor settings, restrictions on food and drink service, and reduced indoor and outdoor gathering sizes. Gravel is remaining optimistic the province won't go into a full lockdown during the holidays, but he notes the rising case count is alarming.
We're watching this all very, very closely, of course, and have great concern about it. And I'm hoping we can avoid a full lockdown. I know that the province has taken some measures to reduce capacity in a number of areas, and I suspect there may be more of that happening. But I'm certainly hopeful that we can avoid a full lockdown, particularly around Christmas, when people are looking forward to getting together.
The government has recently expanded booster shot eligibility to anyone 18 or older beginning next week. Gravel is urging everyone to schedule an appointment for their third dose, a measure he says is crucial in combating the rise of the Omicron variant.
Indeed, that third booster shot is crucial. I'm like many others. I'm moving to try and get mine moved up as quickly as possible as well, and as are many, many others. We need to protect ourselves and do everything we can to avoid what was a terrible lockdown in the past. We don't want to see that again.
The Dewdrop Inn has received $30,000 from a local engineering firm to help feed their guests this holiday season. Officials with Nordman Engineering presented the big check this past week. The funds will cover 12,000 meals for guests of the soup kitchen, which has seen a rise in need for years, only made stronger by the pandemic. 2020 was a record-breaking year for the number of meals given out, and the Dewdrop surpassed that record this year before the end of November.
We depend on the community support to help us feed the hungry in Thunder Bay. It's been a very challenging year for us. Our food expenses have quadrupled in a matter of 3 years, so a donation of this magnitude is just wonderful. It's amazing. It's hard to express how grateful we are to have this.
The food banks and the meal kitchens, they're not providing just a service, they're really providing a need for the community. So, it's the need has increased with the rigors of the pandemic and the obviously the costs have increased for Michael and his staff to meet the needs.
Keybell is expecting about 500 people at their annual Christmas dinner on the 25th. Over the last 2 weeks, students and staff at Confederation College have been raising money in support of a number of school initiatives and community charities, and the totals were announced this week.
We have raised a total of $43,457. So that is awesome.
Through donations, product sales, and department competitions, students and employees at Confederation raised over $43,000 in support of the Stock the Bank internal campaign. Food donations also topped 7,000 items. Stock the Bank supports the Emergency Student Fund, Food Bank, and other initiatives at the college, and prizes were awarded to the departments who raised the most funds. Over the last 15 years, Stock the Bank has seen a total contribution of $198,000 and over 80,000 food items provided to the Emergency Student Fund and Food Bank. Confederation Student Union President Ronnie Cassana says he's incredibly humbled by the generosity of the students and the faculty.
It's been a tough year for everyone, specifically last year. We cannot come in person and couldn't do anything in terms of donations, but I'm so grateful for all the supports and the donations the faculty and all full-time staff has made to the donations. And on behalf of all our students, I just want to say thank you, and we really appreciate for everything.
It was a tough year last year, and we are able now this year to celebrate in person all of the hard work all of our divisions do to raise funds for a good cause, and we also support some other community charities as well. So it's a great day overall, and people were really excited to be together face to face. And
time and supply is running out for those who wish to purchase an ice candle in Dryden for the annual Festival of Lights. Despite the mild temperatures for the last few weeks, volunteers have been mass-producing ice candles for people to place at the graves of their loved ones at the Dryden Cemetery for the festival taking place on December 24th. Organizer Tom Riley has been making ice candles for over a decade and is one of several other community members who donate their time and water to make the candles specifically for the festival. Donations are accepted for the ice candles, which then go towards the Canadian Mental Health Association office in Dryden and its initiatives. Riley says it's all a labor of love, which every year gives him and others a moment of peace and serenity.
It's incredible to see. There's, like I say, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of lights that are there. There's cars coming and going. People just go and spend time. I know people go back. I go back a couple of times in an evening just to get the feeling, especially if the weather's good. Sometimes the weather's not so nice, so we don't necessarily spend the time that we can out there.
Riley says anyone who wants to get a candle should do so before December 22nd. A tree at Cam River Park was decorated in a sea of purple today with messages for those lost to overdose and in support of the family members left to carry on. Around a dozen people showed up to the park today to hang purple ornaments and special messages on what the organizers call the Gone Too Soon tree. They have done this a few times this year, where families affected by overdose can come and share experiences and spend time together. Co-organizers Debbie Reed and Carolyn Carl have been pushing to bring awareness to the cause for months, with Carl running the Overdose Awareness Walk this year, and they both spoke about how important it is to continue the discussion and end the stigma.
We're the leftovers here. We don't get any more pictures, and we don't get to make any more memories. So this is what we've got left.
We want people to know that are suffering with mental health and addiction that we are here for them. We will get the doors open. We will get support here. If you are suffering from any other illness, you can always talk to people about it. This is the only illness that you have to suffer alone.
Carl put in a proposal to the city earlier this year to bring 40 detox beds to Thunder Bay, but hasn't received a response. She hopes the proposal can finally be looked at in the new year. The Red River McDonald's showed their stripes today by selling a variety of items in support of the Ronald McDonald House. Show Your Stripes has traveled all the way to Thunder Bay for the first time this year to sell our MHC signature red and white striped socks, mitts, and a new plush monkey named Cookie. The fundraiser is a one-day event and hopes to sell all the items in store, as 100% of the proceeds go directly to Ronald McDonald Houses to continue supporting families. Volunteer with the fundraiser Danielle Fitzgerald used the Ronald McDonald House in London, which funded medical treatments for their son, and she says the support helped her family in a time of need.
It gave us a comfortable place to stay. It gave us a place for us to be as a family. It gave us warm meals. It took everything away from that. Anything that we had to worry about, they took care of everything for us so we could concentrate on him.
It really helps families that are dealing with some challenging situations with their children. and it's really that support mechanism that they don't have to worry about their stay, their food, and it really just does support it.
Fitzgerald says this fundraiser is especially important for the Ronald McDonald House in London, as roughly 40% of everyone who uses it is from Thunder Bay. Join now with Kurt Black. Kurt, a great local cause here. A great game on the weekend, too, courtesy of the North Stars.
Yeah, absolutely, Alex. You know, the North Stars, they were missing in Thunder Bay for a couple weeks, but clearly there was no rust because they were quite dominating last night. We'll have the highlights right after the break.